was a little interesting. They were doing rookie hits for every team in the NFL.
Okay.
And of course, I scrolled down to the D column to see what the Denver Broncos are as rookie hits. They actually only had 2. And the 2 that they have, I don't disagree with. No pushback there. But there are 2 more names that I think they're leaving off of this list. One, I believe, is very obvious. And the other one is a, wait a minute, what?
Huh?
I think kind of a situation here.
Okay.
Their 2 are Bo Nix, duh, right? That's the obvious. And Devon Vele. Those were the 2 rookie hits that CBS Sports identified.
Okay.
I have 2 more, and they're on the other side of the ball.
Okay.
Jonah Ellis. How is that not a hit? He's a guy as a rookie that came in and gave you 5 sacks. You know what I mean?
As a part-time player.
Spot duty, 100%.
Right.
And then the other one is, it's a big credit to you because you've talked him up a ton. Is it DeAndrea Tillman. Dondrea Tillman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A guy, again, who had 5 sacks and is undrafted when the Broncos found some talent there, identified him, and put him on the 53-man roster. So I'm going 4. Let me double you up, CBS Sports. Yes, Bo Nix and Devon Vele were hits as rookies, but so was Jonah Ellis, and so was Dondrea Tillman.
Yeah, and like that whole rookie class, now we have to define rookie hit because it's not like Vele tore up the league. He's really good. He has tremendous upside. He doesn't even know what he's doing yet.
Right.
So imagine when he knows how to use leverage to run routes, as Cortland Sutton does. Vele's got tremendous upside, so I love that. But where's Jonah Ellis? Where's Dondrea Tillman? What
would you say for hit? Because I interpreted this as contributed and has a pretty big role moving forward.
I like the upside conversation of that. Okay. So definitely contributed. I mean, you'd have to.
Yeah.
You can't just sit around and not play. J.J. McCarthy, hit. Well, we don't know.
Yeah.
So, yes, Dondrea Tillman, 1,000%. Is it because he wasn't drafted?
I was about to say, does where the guy getting drafted factor into whether it's a hit or not?
Perhaps, but Vele was a 7th-round pick.
Right.
So it's like, is because Dondrea Tillman played in the UFL, Birmingham, I believe. So it's like, because he played for the Stallions. I mean, think about that, dude. He hasn't stopped playing football in 2 years.
Yeah, that's actually very
essentially.
Impressive. Yeah.
So what does he do when he gets a rest?
I mean, you get, 6 weeks off before you try to go find a camp to get invited to?
Exactly.
Damn.
Right. Yeah. So think about that for a moment. And then Jonah Ellis, of course, I thought when you said there's 2, I was like, it's going to be Bo Nix, of course, and then it's going to be Jonah Ellis. And then it wasn't. So I was like, what? What's CBS? What are they smoking over there?
I would honestly, I know why you asked the question, and Joe asking about being undrafted, but that makes it more valuable to me.
Yeah.
You went and found this guy that nobody even gave a chance in drafting, watched his UFL, is it UFL? Whatever he came from, tape, and gave him an opportunity, and then a credit to Tillman for running with that opportunity so much so that they invite him to be a camp body. All right, we need one. Come on in here. Let's. You got 4 weeks here to call yourself a pro football player, and then he took the opportunity and run with it. So I look at it the other way. I give more points, more kudos to the team and to the player if it's an undrafted guy.
Okay, and here's the thing, and I'm totally putting you on the spot.
Okay.
I will tell you the college. You tell me where it's at, where Dondrea Tillman came from. IUP. IUP Crimson Hawks.
That's like Indiana University, Purdue University?
Indiana University of Pennsylvania. Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
I was going to say, is it like a Miami of Ohio situation?
Yes.
I actually know it because when I went to Mexico last and I got stuck in that hurricane.
With Dondrea Tillman?
No, but one of our, you meet friends when you're out on vacation, and one was a couple friend. His name was Josh, offensive lineman at IUP.
Whoa!
And he had the tattoo on his leg. And
wow.
I'm like, wow, you're really into that.
He's dedicated to the Crimson Hawks.
Yeah.
So he goes from undrafted to the Birmingham Stallions and has a couple of seasons there, 3 seasons with the Stallions. And then he comes to the Denver Broncos and blows it up, right? He's a guy that in 3 seasons with the Stallions, he had 5.5 sacks. And then he comes to the Denver Broncos. So maybe that's why they're not categorizing him as a rookie.
Okay.
Because he was undrafted in 2022, and he had 3 quote-unquote professional seasons. Apologies to Birmingham Stallions fans. Sports fans are so obsessive today.
Well, that's amateur football. I don't think that's a knock.
I don't know. I say anything bad about any duck in Oregon Trail lights up our text line. So, like,
we should all be upset.
IUP, please don't take offense to the Crimson Hawks, but Is that why maybe? Because he's an NFL rookie, but not a professional amateur / whatever out of college?
I guess
rookie?
that might be of like, hey, last year of college was this.
Okay.
So you're technically not in a rookie scale.
Well, and hits, other than, why do you remember the offensive lineman names that I can't remember for the one rookie who just didn't make the team? Gargulio? Gargantuan?
Gargulio.
Yeah. What? Everything, Chris Abrams-Drain?
Yeah.
Oh, duh. I'm
Chris
not saying
be a
he's
hit.
Chris Harris, because some people are ridiculous enough to wear gold chains of the team they cover, and then also say Chris Abrams-Drain is Chris Harris. He's not, but however,
if it's your scale of like they're going to be a piece moving forward,
yeah,
I think Chris Abrams-Drain is that.
Yes,
in a big way.
So tell me who's not.
From the
Troy
rookie
Franklin's
class?
going to be a piece, provided that he continues to develop and he flashed a wild card game. Yes, Troy Franklin.
Troy Franklin is actually
Yes.
the one that I'm the least confident about.
Yes, Devon Vele. Yes, Chris Abrams-Drain. Yes, Jonah Ellis. Yes, Bo Nix.
All I can think of is Audric Estime, maybe is a not.
That's a good one, Joe.
Okay, yeah.
That might be the one.
Yeah. And Audric Estime, I mean, just by default might have a spot on the 53.
Well, and we're also, I know what you're saying, Joe, but we're also talking about a 5th-round running back. Okay.
There's no guarantee.
Right. And it's a position where there's the biggest priority there anymore. Should be, especially with a rookie quarterback. But
I like these hits, man. I like the hits, and CBS, they're whiffing on a few. The Broncos, I'm not saying they batted 1,000. George Paton is never going to do that as the guy that still bangs on him for the damn missing on. You missed on Isaiah Pacheco.
Oh, yeah.
Had to have Montrell Washington. Had to have Delaren Turner-Yale and didn't get Tariq Woolen. As the guy that bangs on George Paton for that, I will be happy. I will be pleased as a pig in slop when George Paton is extended as the general manager of the Denver Broncos, because that's coming. That's coming. The way he's worked with Sean Payton, that's coming.
I actually just realized this.
His contract will be almost
Was it
up.
last night? Yeah, we never get terms of general managers.
It's weird.
But Nick Kosmider wrote a piece this week at The Athletic and did give us the term. In 2021, he signed a 6-year contract. So that means we're coming up at the end of this thing, and I'm with you. Has George Paton not earned a contract extension?
This is his 5th of 6 years.
So what he did with Nathaniel Hackett and the Russell Wilson stuff, that was a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
And I've said this over and over again, and I'll continue to say it. Trading for Russ and giving him the contract, it made a lot of sense at the time. I was a believer. I think you were. We know Zach was.
Yeah.
This is not a drill and everything. At the time, it made a lot of sense. Nobody knew that Russell Wilson was washed, outside of all those people in Seattle that try to tell us over and over again. But it seemed like a layup at the time, did it not? And to his credit, again, we say this all the time, and in Nick Kosmider's piece, he mentions this too, of George Paton going to Greg Penner when he got the job saying, I made a mistake. I made a mistake with Nathaniel Hackett, and I made a mistake with Russell Wilson. And that's George admitting it.
And Greg having the patience not to fire him.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of what I like of, you've made this mistake. Chris McFarland did it with the Avalanche and Alexander Georgiev. You've made this mistake. Clean this damn mess up so we can be who we're supposed to be. And
You
a credit
fix it.
Exactly. A credit to George and a credit to C-Mac in this conversation for doing those things.
That's awesome.
So I think my answer is yes.
Because
He's earned an extension.
okay, I'm old, but the biggest bust trade of all time, we can say, is like the Herschel Walker deal, right? Minnesota gave Dallas like everything. How did Dallas win 3 Super Bowls? They traded Herschel Walker. The GM at the time was Mike Lynn. I had to look that up. I actually didn't know that. So did Mike Lynn have a bounce back like this? No, not at all. So you made an awful trade. What's the meme where it's like, so you've decided to tweet this. Here's why. Here's what happens, right? So you've decided to trade for Russell Wilson. Here's what you do to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's a great thing in PR, and I learned this from a great PR guy. Hemorrhage don't bleed. When David Letterman has an affair with one of his interns, he doesn't be like, no. He just goes, yeah, my bad. And then everybody
me,
forgets
y'all.
about it, right? Hemorrhage don't bleed. Don't be like, Russell Wilson, no. He could, I'm telling you, don't die on the Russell Wilson hill, James Merlatt. Like, don't do that. So if you're George Paton, I want this guy extended this year. I want, before the start of the regular season, George Paton to be extended by the Denver Broncos because of the work he's done in free agency, in the draft, and most importantly, finding a way to make it work with Sean Payton, notoriously one of the most difficult guys to work with in the NFL. George Paton, great job.
I don't have any pushback in anything you just said. I think you're absolutely right. I think he's earned an extension. And again,
I've earned a promo with that rant.
Yeah, you did. Make that happen, Richie. Add that too. I want that in it. I like I said, I don't have a lot of pushback with you, man. He's got hits. We've said it before. You're talking about multiple players that George has drafted has earned contract extensions. That's the definition of a good general manager. And nobody is going to bat 1,000. Every general manager has a story or 2 or 7 of going, I can't believe I gave that guy a contract, right?
Yep.
That happens in football, basketball, baseball, hockey, and every sport across this planet. So I think I'm there. Probably time to start talking about a George Paton extension. Can't believe we talked about that. Here we are. Congratulations, GP. You know what I saw last